Hello friends, welcome back. I'm Beth, here to help you fulfill your potential in meditation. As most of you know, I don't have just one method that I teach to everybody, like one size fits all. Instead, I much prefer to teach people one-on-one. And the reason is that you're all different. So please use these videos as a guideline, and if there's anything that isn't quite working for you or anything that doesn't quite fit, then be in touch and I'll be more than happy to discuss those things with you one-on-one. Today's video is about deepening our vipassana practice through samasana jnana. And in this vipassana jnana, we are deepening our understanding of the three characteristics of impermanence, suffering, and non-self, or anicca, dukkha, anatta in Pali. Now, in the previous stages of our vipassana practice, what we've been doing is familiarizing ourselves with the building blocks of vipassana. So the different types of materiality, rupa, the different types of mentality, nama, and the different types of cause and effect. In Pali, we call these building blocks paramata dhamma, which in English we usually translate as ultimate reality. These are the building blocks of reality. They're what really exists independent of any perceiver or conceptualizer. And whenever we practice vipassana, we are paying attention to these building blocks. We're paying attention to ultimate reality, to paramata dhamma, never to a concept. Now, if we take all of this ultimate reality and imagine that it's a pie, there are different ways that we can think of this pie. Firstly, we can take the pie as a whole, all of materiality and mentality. Secondly, we could cut that pie in half, and one half is materiality, rupa, the other half is mentality, nama. We can also cut that pie in 5, and then we've got the 5 aggregates, or in Pali we call them the 5 khandhas. We could cut that pie into 12 slices, and then we have the 12 bases. We could cut that pie into 18, and then we have the 18 elements. Or the most fine slicing of this pie that we could do is 28 slices for materiality, 52 for the mental factors, and 121 for all of the different types of consciousness. Now, when we practice samasana jnana, what we want to do is take each of the groupings of this pie, and we want to see each group or each slice as first of all being anicca, impermanent, then as being dukkha, suffering, then as being anatta, non-self. And preferably we want to do each of those to the stage of it being an absorption, where we're not distracted, where we're fully absorbed in the characteristic of that slice of the pie. So we could take an example, first of all taking the pie as a whole, all of materiality and mentality. We want to practice until we are fully absorbed in seeing all of that materiality and mentality as being impermanent, momentarily coming into and out of existence. And we want to do that preferably for at least one whole meditation sitting to the point of absorption. So we're not distracted by other things and our mind is not going to concept. We then want to do the same thing, but seeing the whole pie, all of materiality and mentality, as being suffering, dukkha. Why is it suffering? Because it's all momentarily arising and passing away. None of it is stable or peaceful. We then want to repeat the same thing in another meditation sitting, but seeing the characteristic of non-self, anatta. And why is it non-self? Because we can't stop it from being momentarily arising and passing away. It's conditioned, it's doing its own thing. We can then repeat that same process, but for all of the different ways that we can slice up this pie. So we can do the same thing just for materiality, just for mentality, for each of the 5 khandhas. And for every slice of the pie, we want to practice to the point of absorption. So we are fully immersed in the characteristic of that slice of the pie, fully immersed in the impermanent nature, or the suffering nature, or the non-self nature. So that's what I have to say today about deepening our practice through samasana jnana. It's a very important foundational stage of our vipassana practice, and it's important that we do it well. So if there's anything that's unclear or anything you're unsure of, then be in touch and I'll be more than happy to discuss those things with you one-on-one. But now is the time to get off of those screens, get onto the cushions, actually do some practice. There's a remainderless ending of all suffering, so let's not waste time. As most of you know, I do all of my work on a donation basis, so I encourage you to support me either through Patreon or through my website so that I can continue to make these videos. Thank you so much for your support. Wishing you the best with your meditation.